In a small town located on the edge of the mountains, there was a quiet neighborhood, full of tightly packed houses and beautiful gardens. There was nothing to distinguish this neighborhood from others, except for the tranquility enjoyed by its residents. Among the houses in this neighborhood was an ordinary home, where Sami lived with his wife Nada and their two children, Reem and Saeed. The house was small, but Sami and Nada had worked hard to make it comfortable and warm for their family. Sami was an architect, spending most of his time designing homes and buildings. He loved his job and was regarded as a responsible and successful person in his community. Nada was a homemaker, caring for the children and managing the household. She loved gardening and took care of the small garden in front of their house, where she planted flowers and vegetables. Their life was peaceful and stable, but behind this happy facade, something was brewing beneath the surface, something that would turn their lives upside down. Across the street lived Karim, Sami's old neighbor. Karim had once been Sami's close friend since childhood. They had shared years of friendship, studied at the same school, and worked together on several small projects. But over time, things changed. What had once been a relationship filled with laughter and cooperation gradually turned into silent enmity. Karim became jealous of Sami's success, seeing Sami's achievements in both his career and family life as a reflection of his own failures. The situation became more complicated when Sami and Karim decided to enter a business partnership. The idea for the project, a small household goods store, seemed promising at first. But as time went on, disagreements arose. Sami felt that Karim was not holding up his end of the responsibilities, while Karim believed that Sami was taking control of the decisions and crediting himself for the successes. The partnership ended in a disastrous failure, with financial losses that led to the store's closure. This failure pushed their relationship to the point of no return. Since then, Sami and Karim had avoided each other. They only exchanged superficial greetings if they happened to pass each other in the street. Sami tried to forget the conflict and focus on his family and career. But Karim could not let go of the growing resentment and anger within him. He believed that Sami was to blame for all his problems, holding him responsible for the financial losses he had suffered. What Sami didn't know was that Karim had been hiding a strange secret. Out of the public eye, Karim had developed an obsession with old books on magic and dark spells. His interest in the occult world began after his partnership with Sami failed, when he felt the need to exact revenge in an unconventional way. He spent hours reading magical books and spells he had acquired from an old market in a distant town. Gradually, he delved deeper into the world of witchcraft and black magic, becoming more captivated by the idea of using it to change his fate and exact revenge on his enemies. One night, as Karim's anger reached its peak, he decided to do something irreversible. He felt he needed to punish Sami in a way that would leave a lasting mark, forcing him to pay for everything that had happened. He thought of a curse. Karim opened one of his old books and searched for a spell to curse a home. The book was filled with strange incantations from ancient civilizations, but one particular spell caught his attention. It was a powerful curse said to summon evil spirits and embed them in the targeted house. These spirits would feed on hatred and resentment, sowing discord among the family until their lives were slowly destroyed. On a moonless night, with the sky dark and the air cold, Karim decided to carry out his plan. He knew that Sami and his family were away for the weekend, making this the perfect opportunity. Karim snuck into Sami's house through a kitchen window that had been left unlocked. Inside the house, everything was eerily quiet, but Karim did not hesitate. He quickly made his way to the basement, knowing that Sami kept old, forgotten items down there. In a dark corner, Kareem planted the spell, hidden among dusty old boxes. Muttering a few cryptic words, Kareem felt the air around him grow heavy and cold. The wind seemed to stop for a moment, as though something strange had awoken from its slumber. Kareem left the house as quietly as he had entered, feeling a strange sense of satisfaction. He was confident that the curse would slowly take effect, and that Sami and his family would live in an unending nightmare. The next day, Sami and his family returned home after a pleasant weekend away. At first, everything seemed normal. The children played in the garden. Nada busied herself with unpacking, while Sami checked his emails. But as the days passed, strange things began to happen. Nada was the first to notice the subtle changes. At night, she heard faint noises coming from the basement. They sounded like whispers or footsteps, but she was certain that everyone was asleep. Then she noticed that things in the house were moving from their places without explanation. Kitchen utensils shifted locations, and books she had left on the table ended up elsewhere. She didn't pay much attention to it at first, thinking it was just her imagination. But as time went on, the strange occurrences increased. Reem began having recurring nightmares. She would wake up in the middle of the night terrified, screaming that she had seen shadows moving in her room. Saeed, the younger child, started talking about invisible friends who visited him at night. At first, Sami and Nada thought these were just childish fantasies, but things began to spiral out of control. Lights began to flicker for no reason. Doors would open and close on their own, and the air inside the house grew unnaturally cold, even on hot days. Nada felt cold touches on her shoulder when she was alone, and faint whispers could be heard throughout the house. Sami, being a practical man, tried to find logical explanations for everything. Perhaps there was an electrical issue, or drafts of air causing the sounds. But when he began experiencing strange things himself, he realized something was very wrong. One night, while working on his computer in the living room, Sami felt something move behind him. He quickly turned around but saw nothing. At that exact moment, he heard a faint voice whispering his name. It was barely audible, but real enough to make him jump out of his seat. Things grew worse as arguments between Sami and Nada intensified. Small disagreements quickly turned into fierce fights for no apparent reason. The atmosphere in the house became charged, as if an unseen force was feeding the anger and tension between the family members. Sami began to feel as though he was losing control of everything. Realizing he needed help, Sami remembered his old friend Youssef, who had an interest in the paranormal and the supernatural. He called Youssef and asked for his help. When Youssef visited the house, he immediately sensed that something dark was lurking. He carefully walked around, trying to trace the strange energy he felt. When Youssef reached the basement, he suddenly stopped at the corner where Kareem had planted the spell. He felt that the air in that area was heavier and colder. He called out to Sami and said, "There's something here, something planted by someone with ill intent." When they searched that corner, they found the spell that Kareem had left. It had been carefully hidden among the old boxes, but it still carried a malevolent force. Youssef told Sami that what had been happening in the house was the result of this curse. It was a powerful curse, summoning evil spirits that fed on the resentment and anger between family members, slowly destroying their lives. However, breaking the curse wasn't simple. Youssef told Sami that the curse was tied to the negative emotions between him and Kareem, and that its effects could only be undone if he confronted Kareem and resolved their differences.